I appreciate you being available tonight to do this, even though you've got your wrestling tournament. So good luck in that, and appreciate it.
Thank
Okay,
you.
well,
Appreciate it.
um, welcome everybody. We're gonna get right to the point. We have some really special people on this call tonight. I know many of you personally. A lot of you are my personal friends, business partners like Aaron. Some of you are friends of one of my partners, so maybe you're here because you know one of our partners. We're glad you're here. And maybe to begin, I'll just kind of dive right into it. Aaron talked about determining why you're here. Let me maybe just start by telling you why I'm here. Um, the reason why I'm here, it starts with this guy right here. This is my dad. And 7 years ago, my dad died from colon cancer. My dad was my best friend. I love the man. I look up to him. And my dad had some real struggles with his health. My dad had a problem called insulin resistance. And at the time, nobody talked about it, nobody knew about it. We knew that he was borderline diabetic. We knew that he struggled with weight control my whole adult life. He had high blood pressure, high cholesterol. He had psoriasis all over his body. I mean, he had all the signs of somebody that is insulin resistant. But since nobody really talked to him about that, he didn't make it. And when I became aware of how pervasive this problem is, it is the biggest problem in the world today. You can Google it and look it up if you're unsure about it. Um, when I became aware of this, I said, I want to make it my life's mission to save lives and to spread awareness about this. And so that is really why I'm here. Years ago, I had an insider opportunity. Um, I had some inside information that I knew about and nobody else did, or very few people did. And what I knew about was a protocol, a natural protocol that was being developed and studied at some of the most prestigious institutions in the world that was going to change the world. This protocol has 5 patents on it. Nobody can copy it. There are now more than 20 clinical studies that prove that this protocol is going to change the world and save lives like my dad. It would have saved my dad. But it was too late for him. But maybe you've got a dad or a mom or a loved one, or maybe you yourself are struggling with your metabolic health. And when you see this protocol, when you see what we have, I hope that you'll think about who you can save with it. Okay. So this is me now, my wife and my kids. A couple years ago, when I became convinced that this protocol was going to change the world, I was in a spot where I needed to make more money. I won't go into the details. That's not the scope of this call, but suffice it to say that I was in a bad spot. I had not been able to pay myself an income from my business for about 9 months. And so, I went through savings and then started using credit and savings, and I was getting very scared. So I was in a spot where I needed to make more money and make it quickly. And so I called the owner of the protocol, the manufacturer. I called him and I said, "Hey, I know what you've got. Nobody else knows about it yet. I want to buy stock. I want to set myself up for the future." And he laughed. I mean, I didn't have any money, so I couldn't really buy much stock, right? But he said, "Hey, we don't have any debt. We have no reason to sell stock, but I'm glad you love this, and you're right. It is going to change the world." I said, "Well, how can I get involved?" And he said, "Well, you could buy a franchise." And so my wife and I decided to invest $1,500 that we kind of didn't have at the time, but we decided to invest $1,500 to buy a franchise. We did it because I didn't know what else to do. And makes me emotional just every time I talk about it. But I felt like I was running, in my previous career and my different businesses, I felt like I was running as fast as I could every month just to stay in the same place. And I knew something had to change. I knew if something didn't change, I was going to fall behind. And so I bought this franchise. And at the time, guys, honestly, My goal was if I could just make an extra $1,000 a month, if I could invest $1,500 into this franchise, and if it would just pay me $1,000 of extra cash a month, that would really take so much pressure off the family financials. I mean, I have this beautiful family that I have to take care of, right? So I buy this franchise. My wife and I buy it. We were already using the product anyways. And so we were just like, hey, worst case, when you buy the franchise, they send you 10 sets of the product. So I said, hey, worst case, we're going to use the product anyways. She's like, you're right. So we buy a franchise. It has taken off and has saved now thousands and thousands of lives and is the most rewarding thing we've ever done. And so we now have partners. Many of our partners are on this call with us tonight, and we are in expansion mode. Nobody knows about this yet, and it's going to be massive. And I want to show you some proof and show you kind of the nature of what we're doing and see if it's something that could bless your family the way it's blessed mine. Now, in order to have a big business, you have to solve a big problem. And I actually don't know the scope of tonight's call. There's 176 people here, now 177, which is awesome. How many of you are already using the protocol? So if you're using the protocol, would you just put a yes in the chat? I'm curious to see how many of you are already using this protocol or have been following it. Okay, look at that. A bunch of yeses. A bunch of yeses. Okay, great. That's awesome. So I'll have you help me with this as we go here. In order to have a big opportunity, you have to solve a big problem. And right now, the biggest problem in the world is something that most people haven't been made aware of yet. It's something called insulin resistance. And when somebody struggles with weight control, they actually struggle with insulin resistance usually first. So if you feel hungry all the time, if you have a sweet tooth, if you're constantly craving foods, if you have a protruding belly, that would be a dead giveaway that you're insulin resistant. The insulin resistance starts first. The obesity comes second. Fatty liver starts with insulin resistance. Prediabetes, type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, by definition, it's textbook insulin resistance. Things like Alzheimer's are being called type 3 diabetes. It starts with insulin resistance. Heart disease is the #1 killer in the world. PCOS, a huge problem right now. Infertility is a humongous problem. PCOS is the #1 contributor to infertility, and the #1 contributor to PCOS is this insulin resistance. When you solve the problem of insulin resistance, people's metabolic health can transform in a very short period of time. And we can measure that with this protocol, okay? We have a solution to the problem of insulin resistance, and nobody knows about it yet. Now, this solution is not just life-saving. I'm about to show it to you. It's not just life-saving. It's also life-giving. This is a text message that I received today, this morning, from a very dear friend. Now, she asked that I keep this confidential, but this is what she sent me. Trent, my A1C came back at 5.4, which is down from a 5.9. She was pre-diabetic a few months ago. Somehow, I am also pregnant. Keep this on the major down low because it's still really early and I have a history of miscarriages. So who knows if this baby will stick. But if it does, it's actually a huge deal because not only did this protocol help me lower my blood sugar, it apparently reversed my PCOS enough to help my fertility. This is life-giving. And there's this story after story of this with the PCOS. Okay, so I realize that many of you are on the protocol, but many of you have not yet tried it. So I want to explain the basics, okay? We have a solution that has 5 patents on it. No one can copy it. This has been studied. It was originally developed by Rexall. If you guys are over the age of about 40 or 45, you remember the Rexall name. Rexall is still very prevalent for those of you in Canada. This has been studied at the Cleveland Clinic, at the University of Stanford, at BYU, the University of Sydney, UNLV, and a bunch of other institutions. It is clinically proven. It is not on trial. The case is closed. This is going to change the world, and nobody knows about it yet, okay? It is natural. There are no drugs in it. It is natural. It comes from plants. Okay. It is also guaranteed. This is measurable. You can prove it when you do your blood work with your doctor. If a person goes on the protocol within 60 to 90 days, when they go back and they do their blood work with their doctor, it will be measurably, dramatically better every time. And if for any reason they decide it's not their cup of tea, they can just get a full refund, even if they've used all of it for 90 days. It's cost neutral. We will talk about that in just a moment. And we now have this available in more than 50 different countries. We have gotten it through the legal process, and it is in market with 2 to 3 day free shipping in 50, almost 60 different countries around the world. This is going to shock the world, and I'm going to prove it to you in just a moment. How the protocol works for anybody that hasn't tried it yet. It is the simplest thing in the world. Step one, whenever you're trying to avoid food, you can sip the Unimate. We have one patent on this product to make sure that nobody can copy it. When you sip the Unimate, it naturally increases GLP-1 by 50 to 60%. It makes me forget about food. So when I'm trying to avoid food between meals, or if I'm doing a little bit of fasting, I sip the Unimate. Number two, the second part of the protocol is when it's time to eat, you slam down a blend of fiber called Balance. Okay. This has 4 patents on it and is a blend of different fibers. Okay. When you take it before your meal, it prevents insulin spikes, blood sugar spikes, cholesterol. It naturally lowers LDL. It naturally improves HDL. It is extremely satiating, so it prevents overeating. And it is also amazing for triglycerides. All right. So you sip one whenever you're not eating and trying to avoid food, and the other you drink quickly right before your largest meal each day. Okay. So, how is it cost neutral? Well, if we've got breakfast, lunch, and dinner, what most of us do on this protocol, like if you're trying to get rid of excess body fat, many of us will skip a meal. Let's say that you skip breakfast. You sip the Unimate. I have mine right here. You can sip this through breakfast, and it makes you forget that you're skipping breakfast, right? And by skipping a meal, we typically save the money we would have spent on that meal. Now, you cannot get a McDonald's meal anymore or a Starbucks meal anymore for less than $5. So most people are saving much more than that. But if you save just $5 even, what you save on a meal following this protocol covers the cost of the protocol, making it cost neutral. We have people on fixed income, disability, people that are living paycheck to paycheck and do not have an extra $159 in their budget, but they're dying for this protocol. They're type 2 diabetic, pre-diabetic, all kinds of other metabolic health problems. They can't afford this because it pays for itself. We create the budget out of thin air with a little bit of intermittent fasting, and the Unimate makes the fasting effortless. Okay. Now, if you're thinking that this sounds like just some supplement, there's lots of supplements, right? Both of these products, both the Unimate and the Balance, are now listed in the physician's desk reference, which means that any doctor or medical professional can look them up. Matter of fact, how many of you on this call tonight are medical professionals? If you're a doctor, I saw we have at least one endocrinologist on this call, Dr. Brown up in Toronto. Hi, Dr. Brown. Thanks for being on the call. If you're a doctor, a nurse, a diabetes educator, a registered dietitian, if you just write medical in the chat, we have lots of medical professionals that are now joining this project. Okay. So any medical professional can go and look this up in the physician's desk reference, and the doctor will say, I don't know how, I've never heard of this before, but that stuff looks amazing. Yeah, you should try that. Okay. The number one heart hospital in the world, the Cleveland Clinic, said that this product, if taken regularly, could reduce cardiovascular risk on a population basis. Okay. Reduce heart disease is the number one killer in the world. The number one heart hospital in the world said that this could reduce heart disease on a population basis. And they said that this could potentially decrease the need and or dose for lipid-lowering prescription drugs. This protocol is going to be disruptive. It's going to be part of the unpharmification of North America and eventually the world. And I'm not exaggerating, and I'm going to show you some proof in just a second. We have studies that show that this often decreases and controls blood sugar and insulin spikes, as well as, in some cases, better than drugs like metformin, but with no drugs. We also can prove that when you sip the Unicity, GLP-1 goes up 50 to 60% just by sipping this. Everybody's taking Ozempic for the GLP-1. They're living with very undesirable side effects. You can get it naturally with the Unicity for a fraction of the cost. Okay. I was going to give some examples of what it does, but I'm going to take a little break and ask for some help. So many of you, it sounds like, are already on this protocol. I'm very glad to have you here because it's one thing if I say it, it's another thing if a bunch of complete strangers say it. So I want to ask you for your help. If you or somebody in your household, okay, I don't want to hear about your neighbor's friends, brothers, aunts, dog, right? If you or somebody in your immediate family has been using this protocol and you have experienced a measurable positive result, I don't want you to exaggerate, okay? Just the truth is enough. If you or somebody in your household has experienced a measurable positive result, would you do me a favor and just put a sentence or two in the chat? I would love to read some of these for all those that are not on the protocol yet. Okay. So I'm going to read some of these. Okay. Dr. Kenny, down 50 pounds. Sleep apnea is gone. High blood pressure is gone. Neuropathy is gone. My wife has reversed her PCOS over 20 years in just 2 months. She's down 12 pounds. Mom is, hold on, somebody's asking me to confirm my speaking language. Sorry. Mom is 78 and her kidney function has doubled and down 2 pound sizes. Mikey Grillo, myself and all my family members using it. That's awesome. Okay, Whitney Zayas, down 68 pounds, no more chronic inflammation, no more high cholesterol or sleep apnea. My 78-year-old grandma stopped using a walker after 2 weeks. Oh, that's great. Sarah Lowe, reversed prediabetes, lowered cholesterol to safe range, and has lost weight. Janine Patterson, RN, 50-year yo-yo dieter here, finally fixed the root cause. Oh, that's awesome. Renee Peterson, just hit 1 year on the protocol, 62 inches gone. Vertigo and inflammation gone. Depression and side of grief alleviated. Troy Hatch, I reversed stage 4 kidney. What? That's crazy, man. 20 reversed or got rid of migraines of 23 years. I've lost 32 pounds. Rochelle, I don't need afternoon naps anymore. Brain fog is gone and so much more energy and clear thinking. You know, Rochelle and many other people have started this protocol without any major metabolic health problems. They're in good shape. I don't care how healthy you are. When you become more insulin sensitive, you feel like a superhero. Shannon Davis, registered RD, triglycerides down from 250 to 50, HDL up from 53 to 122. Patty Parks, no more brain fog, off 3 medications for high blood pressure, down 45 pounds, no more inflammation, skin tags are gone. Ralph Falconbury, 50 pounds, 50.2 pounds gone. A1C went from type 2 diabetes to no more diabetes, 4XL down to a 1 point, or down to XL, and new insulin resistance score. Billy Wolfenbarger, down 8.2 pounds in 2 weeks. Now, Stacy Goddard, 40 pounds down in just 4 months. It's helped with major depression. Okay, there are lots. There's like 31 additional messages. I'm not going to have time to read them all. Thank you. I hope that you guys are reading these as I'm reading some. If it sounds like, man, this stuff sounds a little bit like snake oil. I mean, it helps you lose weight, helps you with the, mental health. your cholesterol, your blood pressure. People are talking about, their A1C coming down. Like, is this just like some insulin resistance? It's all insulin resistance. Look it up. When you are insulin resistant, it leads to all kinds of metabolic health problems. And so by addressing the root cause of that one problem, we can solve so many other problems. Okay. Now, there's still people chatting. Holy cow, there's 200 people here. Okay. Now, this is awesome. There are 200 of us that have an inside track on this. Now, I'm going to go back and kind of explain the opportunity that I see for the 200 of us. And I want to do maybe just a little bit of math here. I've actually never done this before on the run. And so I need to pull out a calculator. So, real fast, I want you to know that just in the United States, I'm not talking about Canada, I'm not talking about Mexico. It sounds like there's people from Mexico here, people from Canada, somebody from the UK is here, right? Just in the United States alone, there are 100 million pre-diabetics and type 2 diabetics. That is the CDC's number, okay? Not mine. That's what the CDC says. 100 million pre-diabetics and type 2 diabetics, okay? So let's do pre-diabetic and type 2 diabetic. There are another 100 million people that they say struggle with weight control. Let's just forget about those so I can keep easy math. Okay. Let's just stick with just the pre-diabetics and type 2 diabetics. There are 206 of us on this call. So if we divide this number by 206 of us, for each of us, that means there are 485,000 plus pre-diabetics and type 2 diabetics just in this country alone to each one of us. This is a blue ocean opportunity. That's not even to mention all the people that don't have prediabetes or type 2 diabetes that can benefit from this. So it truly is crazy. Okay, so the company came out with a way, when I bought the franchise, the reason why I did that was because the company has a business model that I think is the coolest thing ever. Okay, it's different than anything I've ever seen before. I want to explain it. Okay. Some of you might be familiar with affiliate marketing. Work from home in your pajamas, make all kinds of money from strangers online, right? Some of you might be familiar with network marketing, where you grow a distribution channel or whatever, right? Some of you might be more familiar with franchising. This is like a hybrid of all of them. And our goal with the 200 of us on this call, my goal is to build a distribution channel that will get millions of people using this protocol and selling this protocol and having all that money, all the commissions from that trickle back to our bank accounts. That's the goal. Okay. Now, this model is kind of interesting, and I want to tell you why I love it. Most people are either employed or self-employed. Okay. This is me like most of my life up until now. And the challenge with being employed or self-employed is we are essentially trading our time for money, right? If you clean houses and work around the clock, there's only so much time in the day to clean houses. And since there's only 24 hours in the day, since there is a limit, a ceiling on how much time you have, there is also a ceiling or a limit on how much money you can earn, right? Maybe you have a salary and that's your limit. Maybe it's a salary plus bonuses, that's your limit, right? And so when you're trading time for money, ultimately there is a ceiling. And trading time for money is exhausting. If taxes go up, if inflation happens, if expenses go up, if you get a flat tire, you have to somehow create more time to keep up with it. And there's no way to create more time, right? And so this is where I was. And unfortunately, for most people, when this happens, trading time for money is ultimately at the expense of our health, right? It starts to cost us our health. So, when you're employed, you have a boss, you have a schedule, and you have a limit to what you can earn. And so many people feel unhappy or unsatisfied in this type of lifestyle. There are a few people who have a really big business. Let's say you have a big company, you have a lot of people that work for you, right? You've got a lot of people that work in your company. Maybe you got 50 employees or more, right? And you'd think, well, gosh, that sounds nice. Other people are working for me and, life is good. But they've done plenty of studies on this, all right? When you have a big business, you have all the stress and overhead and risk and liability and HR issues and red tape from that big business. And so, when they look at this, yes, these people may have more money, right? But they lack time and it also costs them their health. And so, most people in the big business world we find are also unsatisfied or unhappy. And maybe some of you have tasted that. We're going to create a new world. This is where our people are, okay? The people that I've been working on this with, those of you that are on this call will know this, right? Our people don't have to worry about employees. We don't have to worry about legal or liability, right? We don't have to ship anything or do customer service. We don't have inventory or overhead. We don't have the risk of being sued, right? We don't have HR issues. We don't need a degree or a certain amount of experience. No boss, no schedule, and my favorite thing of all, there is no limit. And we have people on this call that are making more money with this protocol than I imagined could be possible. And we want to help bring that to you. Our goal, as I explain this business model, this is the dream zone. And we want to bring you right here with us if you like the sound of that. Okay. Now, in order to do something that can really scale and pay you for the rest of your life, you have to have a certain kind of offer. Okay. And I want to just explain why this is truly such a special product. If you're selling anything, let's just say you're selling something online, okay? It's really important that whatever you're selling is reordered with some kind of regularity, because when it gets reordered, you get repaid. And if you want to get repaid regularly, it must be reordered, right? So, if you're selling a shovel online, well, people only buy a new shovel like every 20 years or whatever, right? So you're not going to get paid very often. With this, people use it and exhaust it within the month, and they actually save money doing it. So they're anxious to order it again, feel better, and save money, right? The second thing you look for in a winning offer is something that is not available at Costco or Amazon or another big retailer. And this is why you can't really do what we're doing with, protein powder or vitamins, because at the end of the day, I mean, Costco has really good protein powder and really good vitamins for cheap, right? To have a really winning offer, you have to have a great return policy. People want to feel safe when they buy something. And so you have to have an amazing return policy. And we have a 90-day, no questions asked, money back guarantee, right? But your product, it must be good enough that people won't want to return it, right? The only way the business scales and grows is if people are using the product and don't want to return it. And so you have these ingredients to have kind of a home run offer. And the more of these ingredients that you have, the better. Okay. The offer to be what we're doing is beautiful because it's fulfilled at scale. If you're selling, let's say you're selling something out of your home and it blows up online and you get 10,000 orders overnight. Who's shipping those 10,000 boxes? Do you have 10,000 boxes on hand? If not, you're going to have to refund all those people and it could bankrupt the company, right? So having it fulfilled by someone else is huge. And the real jackpot is if you have something that other people can sell on their platforms. Some people might be better at selling things than you are. And if they have an incentive to sell your thing on their platforms, this is the jackpot. I mean, that means that as they're selling it, you can be working less and less, but earning more and more as other people sell your offer. Okay. To have all of these in one is like truly a unicorn offer. And that is why we are kicking so much butt with this. Okay. Now, let me explain it. So, with this protocol, when somebody orders the protocol through you or through your referral link, the company will pay you an unlimited residual income on those orders. The amount depends on where they are in the world and some other factors. It's a little bit less expensive in Mexico, for example, so the commission's a little bit less, but it's usually between $20 and $25 on every order, not just on the first order, but on every subsequent order, indefinitely forever. That is residual. All right. Now, what does that look like? It looks like this. If you have 10 people, remember there's 485,000 type 2 diabetics and pre-diabetics out there just in the United States alone to each one of us. We're looking for 10 of them. If you had 10 people using this protocol, you'd be earning 10 times $25 is $250 per month, right? Our business model that I'm about to show you is built around getting 10 people on the protocol. If you can have 10 customers, you can make a fortune with what we're doing. All right. But just to illustrate that there is no limit, if you have more customers, the company will pay you more in residual. We have people on this call that regularly have more than 1,000 customers in a single month. Okay. That would be a regular residual of 25,000 or more per month. You could have 10,000 customers and they'd pay you for 10,000, right? Now, you don't really need to worry about these bigger numbers. I'm just using them to demonstrate that there's no limit. The business model is really built around 10. And I'm going to come back to that in just a moment. First, let me explain how it looks. Let's say that you have a franchise. You copy what I am doing, what we are doing on this call, and you get a franchise. If you refer somebody, whether it's a friend or a stranger who you've never met online, we're really good at that. When you refer Bob and Bob orders the protocol, Bob gets a discount by ordering from you, and you get a $25 residual every time Bob orders. Bob loves the stuff and tells his wife, hey, sweetie, you better be on this too, because we're both struggling with the same stuff and this is really working. And the company says, Bob, hey, Bob, you're a happy customer. We're grateful that you've referred someone. We're going to give you a $10 credit every time Sue orders. So Bob's happy because now he's getting his product cheaper or even for free. But the $25 from Sue's order goes to you as well, because you're the one that sparked this little chain of business, right? And if Sue likes to talk to other people and uses or refers other people, she'll get credits when they order, but you are ultimately getting the residual from Bob, Sue, Jill, Joe every single month. You referred one person, but you're getting paid on 4, and this will continue to go indefinitely forever. Okay. What this looks like, you can actually go into your franchise. I do this every day. Okay. You can see the names of people who if you refer somebody, they would pop up here. But then for most of us, it's mostly names of people we've never met in our lives, right? 99.9% of the people that have ordered this from me, and there have been thousands all over the world, are strangers who I've never met in my life. It shows you every order they have ever made. It shows you every person they've ever referred. And it keeps a total, it also shows you where they are in the world. And all of this backs out to your monthly and even weekly, they do weekly pay to us, commissions. So it all backs out. You can track every single order for life. All right. Now, as cool as this residual income stream is, it's actually not as cool as leveraging it with other people. So just like I mentioned before, the real jackpot with an online offer is something that other people can sell and you get paid as they do that. I'll give you an example. There is a nice man named Mario. True story. He saw my video talking about this protocol. He said, I have type 2 diabetes. I need to try that. Mario calls me 8 days on the product and says, Trent, this stuff's amazing. I'm off my metformin. My blood sugar's perfect. Right? I have a bunch of pictures from Mario showing me this, right? He says, hey, I'm in Houston. There's a bunch of Latinos in Houston. I want to spread awareness about this. Everybody needs to know about this stuff. So Mario starts to tell people, and just from this group, that he has now built, the company pays Mario. Mario got to the point where he was making about 30 to 50,000 per month with this protocol, but the company paid me a cut on all the sales made by that group, right? So every month, while other people were selling this protocol, the company kicked back. And this was not a cut. Let me rephrase that. A cut makes it sound like it's coming out of Mario. The company pays Mario the full commission. The company pays me a small royalty on all those sales because I sparked this chain of business, right? And we've replicated that with people all over the world now. All right. And what we want to do, and what I'm going to show you now in a moment, our goal, like I said, we want to help you build a massive distribution channel where millions of people are using this protocol and it's trickling back to your bank account. We want you to be right smack dab in the middle of this. And let me explain how that works. 10 customers. Our goal is to build a business of just 10 customers. And we're going to give you a lot of help to help you do that. And I'll show you that in just a moment. Why is 10 so important? Well, when you buy the franchise, when I bought my franchise, I invested $1,500 one time, and the company sent me 10 sets of the product. So when you buy the franchise, the company sends you 10 sets of the product. You take those 10 sets, you get them in the hands of your 10 customers, and boom, you have just recouped your investment. You now own the franchise free and clear. Now, do me a favor. I know most of you are not partners yet, but for those of you that are partners on this call, if you have been able to get 10 or more customers, would you just put a 10 in the chat? Okay, so if you've partnered with us and you've been able to get 10 or more customers, would you just put a 10 in the chat? All right. Now, for those of you that are brand new and have 5 customers already, hey, you're halfway there, right? So 10 customers helps you recoup your investment. So now you own it free and clear. Moving forward, if you maintain roughly 10 customers, 10 times $25, well, that's $250 a month to you, right? Now, that number does not sound like a lot, but it's actually critically important because that is enough to cover the cost of your product each month and pay you roughly $100 or so per month. All right. So now your product is free. You're using yours every month. And it's like having an ATM in your backyard that prints out a $100 bill every month to you, right? Pretty awesome, right? Just by helping 10 people save their lives and feel great. But now that you've got this little 10 customer business, if you can build a 10 customer business, you can make 6 and even 7 figures per year just by duplicating the 10 customer business with others. In fact, we say if you're willing to use the product, build a business of 10 or more customers, and duplicate that with 1 new partner per month. Now, there's no quota. You don't have to get a partner per month. In fact, some people do this without even bringing in partners, okay? There's nothing like that. But if you were to use the product, maintain 10 customers, and duplicate with just 1 new partner per month, in 12 months, so I'm going to look at 12 months, the math is staggering, okay? So if you do that for 12 months, again, you start, you get your 10 sets, you get your 10 customers, you've recouped your investment. And then if you just maintain 10 customers and you bring in one new partner per month, by the fourth month, you've got an extra $1,400 per month coming in. This is significant because this is where you're also qualifying for the free reward trips the company sends us on. They just sent 60 of us to Bangkok and Vietnam, and they paid for the trip. Before that, we went to Hawaii. Before that, we went to Tokyo, Japan. It was amazing. Okay. So by the fourth month, you're qualifying for the free reward trips. Some people bring their kids and their families, right? It's amazing. By the seventh month, you're making the equivalent of a pretty good, by the seventh month, you're making the equivalent of a really good full-time income. By the ninth month, you'd be earning $27,000 per month. And by the 11th month, just by duplicating with one new partner per month, you're making $97,000 a month. Now, I know that I just lost a bunch of you, and you're like, yeah, sure, whatever. Okay, listen, there are people on this call that are making that kind of money. All right. But let's just throw that out. Okay. Let's say you can't wrap your head around that. You don't believe it's possible. What if you could do 10% of that? Right? 10% of that would be $9,700 per month. And for most people that I know, that is life-changing, right? Let's forget about that. Let's say you do 1% of it. Let's say that you build a business that pays you an extra $970 per month. For most people I associate with, that's life-changing. I mean, what would that do for you? For a lot of people, this would be the difference between getting ahead and just getting by, right? We have lots of people that we've partnered with that make this. We have many that make that or more, and we have even some that make this and much, much more. Okay. Like I said, there's no limit. And the 10 customer business model with duplication is so powerful. Now, I want to explain how this works and how we are going to help you get 10 customers if you decide to partner with us. And I have kind of an offer that I put together because it's the end of January and we have a big goal that we're trying to hit. And so we have a really special offer for anybody that wants to do this. Now, if you are already using the protocol and you plan to use the protocol for the foreseeable future, this is a no-brainer. Because when you buy the franchise, they send you 10 sets. I mean, it's a no-brainer because if you're already using the product anyways, you might as well save the money, right? Even if you just use the product, you'd come out ahead. The company's goal, though, is to help you take these. We want to help you take these 10 sets and use it to recoup your investment, right? Now, when you buy the franchise, this unlocks the ability to get paid a residual on these orders. We're going to take those 10 people that are on the protocol, and those are going to be your first stories. Living, breathing, walking billboards that help you grow your business, right? We don't just say to you, all right, you're in now, good luck. We are going to teach you exactly how to copy what we are doing, okay? We have figured this out. You're not going to have to figure it out. We have figured this out, and we have a bunch of value that we're going to give you for free if you decide to partner. We're going to teach you how to articulate the science behind the product. We're going to teach you how to do the business and get customers and partners. And man, if you are willing to use social media, we can help you get unlimited supply of leads, prospects, sales, even partners through social media. And we've got a lot of proof to prove that we can do that. You don't have to do social media, but it's free marketing. I have not spent one penny on ads or clicks, and there's probably more than 100 people now that have copied what I'm doing, maybe more like 200, and have massive followings, and it's working for them too. And we can teach you how to do it from zero. So the success formula is to use the product, get customers, and duplicate. And if you want to supercharge with social media, that's awesome. Here's how we're going to help you do that. Okay. Now, this is a special offer that we're doing. We're really wanting to find the right partners. When you become a partner, you become a part of our family. I'm going to show you some pictures in a moment to tell you exactly what I mean. But when you become a partner, we make a commitment to you that we're going to help you grow and build a business. So for at least the next 24 months, I've been doing it now for about 24 months, and I'm committed to at least 24 more, maybe much, much more. You will get weekly coaching calls from people who are millionaires with this and some of our other top performers. And they will be teaching you, we will be teaching you step by step how to copy what we have done. You're going to have a mastermind group of millionaires helping you copy exactly what we've done. You're going to get access to our Feel Great Family Facebook group. Okay. This is a group that nurtures and supports customers on the protocol to help them have a great experience and to help them build conversion to the protocol, which keeps them on it. That's retention, that's residual for you. You're going to have access to that. We're going to help you coach these people with you and for you, build a huge, massive customer base. You're going to have access to monthly calls with doctors, medical professionals, experts that will teach you all about the science behind insulin resistance and these other metabolic health conditions and how the protocol helps. This is also a place where you can bring your prospects and let the doctors and the experts cook them on why they should be using this protocol. You're going to get access to our training site. Everything we've learned over the last couple of years, you will be able to stand on our shoulders and have all of it at your fingertips immediately. If I had this site with all the resources there when I got started, my business could be dramatically bigger than it already is, right? You'll have that benefit. Now, we're going to give you 9 different scripts to help you sell your 10-pack. We're going to give you 8 scripts for booking meetings with potential partners and sub-affiliates, okay? We're going to give you an objection playbook, which will be a guide to help you overcome the most common objections that people might have. You will not be caught flat-footed. You'll know what to say and how to respond. You will immediately have access to about 100 recorded video testimonials, okay? These are real stories from real people on video. Even if you don't have a story, maybe you haven't even started the protocol yet, you'll immediately have a ton of material to grow and build your business. Now, I will give you my $1 million social media execution strategy. I will show you exactly what I did to go from 0 followers to 500,000 followers in 6 months. Now I'm up to about 1 million followers across the different platforms. I want to show you exactly how to do that and give you a step-by-step plan to copy. You're going to get 10 ready to record video scripts. These are done for you, okay, to help you get your first few videos out if you want to do the social media. Now, you don't have to do the social media, but you're crazy not to, because I'll give you an example. There is one woman had never done social media before, terrified of it. I mean, she was trembling, okay? She took the first ready to record video script. Her very first video, it got 3 million views and she got 3,000 followers, okay? Amazing. You're going to learn how to record and edit videos step by step for beginners. You're going to get permission to duplicate some of the best videos we've already made. All right. There are additional resources, though. We're going to give you lead magnets. What's a lead magnet? It's something that allows you to turn strangers all over the world into a prospect, into a lead for you, okay? So for example, we're going to give you a food guide that makes blood sugar control super easy. It shows what foods to eat and what foods to avoid to control blood sugar. We'll show you how to make a video, in fact. Hey, if you struggle with blood sugar control and you want to know what foods you should buy at the grocery store and what foods to avoid, give me your name, email, phone number, and I'll send you this Feel Great Food Guide. Now you have a new lead, a stranger who's interested in blood sugar control and could be a perfect prospect for our protocol, right? There's a women's fasting calendar. Fasting for women can be complicated. We're going to make it easy for them. That's another great lead magnet for you. Now, we're going to do something very, very special today. We've been doing this. We did this last week to kind of close this period of January. We're going to do something on Saturday. If you decide that you want to get started and do this with us, okay, we're going to give you something very special. But you have to make the decision tonight before midnight. Okay. So this offer is for tonight before midnight. And if you don't do it tonight before midnight, you can still partner. You just won't get access to this offer. Okay. So on Saturday, I'm talking like 36 hours from now, 48 hours from now, we are going to do for you a 3-hour business boot camp. You're going to learn from some of the top people in the United States that are excellent at this. And during those 3 hours, in the first hour, we're going to help you sell your 10 pack. In the second hour, we're going to help you book your first meetings with potential partners. And in the third hour, we're actually going to help you record your first piece of content. Okay. We're going to help you do these three things to get your business off to a fast start. I mean, think about it. If you could sell your 10 pack on Saturday, you'd sell it before it even arrives. You'd have made your money back on the franchise before it even arrives, right? Now, I was going to show some stories. Okay. I'm going to pivot. I'm going to bring some people that I see on the call. I'm actually going to be putting these people truthfully right on the spot, which is not something that's very cool to do. But before I do that, I just want to share my screen. I talked about being a part of our family. We are not here. I am definitely not here. None of us are here to try and sell you some business. Okay. And then say, hey, good luck. I hope you can figure it out. When we partner with someone, we decide, if you decide to partner with us, you become part of our family. I just want to show you what I mean by that because we take this seriously and we want to help you be excellent at this. Okay. Let me just give you a couple of examples. This is William and Darcy Winterton. William saw one of my videos on social media. He ordered the protocol, lost 40 pounds. Then his wife got on the protocol. William and Darcy are now lifelong friends of mine. I'm going to be friends with them for the rest of my life. We have now, a stranger from social media that got on the product, saved his, improved his health dramatically, and now he's a partner. And we have been together to Dominican Republic. We've been to Vegas. We've been to, this is us actually in Bangkok and Vietnam together. William's a huge part of my business. I love him and Darcy very much. And these two are part of the family. Oh, this is Dr. Midge. She is an endocrinologist. And this is her husband, Steve. And this is us in Vietnam together. But we also went to Tokyo together, Tokyo, Japan on a trip. Midge is an anesthesia, sorry, Dr. Midgine Brown is an endocrinologist in Toronto, Canada, and Dr. Steve Brown is an anesthesiologist. Dr. Midge saw one of my videos on social media, and as an endocrinologist, she's like, whoa, I've got to try that stuff. She did her research and is now the Browns are two of my favorite people in the world. They offered me to stay at their home and made a bedroom for me in their basement when I visited Toronto. They're so kind, and these are my friends and partners. All right, this is a group. There's Yvette and Shannon Davis and Sheridan and Amanda Grasser and Dr. Tiffany and Diane. Right, these were strangers. Now they're business partners. We traveled the world together. This is a group of us in Hawaii. The company sent a bunch of us to Hawaii and we had a dinner together. There's Jeff. There's Jim and Amanda. There's William. There's Ubaldo. Ubaldo's from Mexico and started doing. There's Monica and Nancy and Mario. There's Cesar and Johanna. Okay. There's Nella. There's Crystal. Hey, Crystal. There's Amarie. There's Dean. I could go through literally 100 photos. There's us with Shannon Davis, right, in Hawaii. So when I say that oh, one more. This is awesome. This is in the Tsukiji Fish Market in Tokyo. There's Jackie. Jackie saw one of my videos, ordered the protocol. She's lost 120 pounds now. Her husband reversed his type 2 diabetes, and we've traveled all over the world. I love Jackie. Just a total stranger, okay? So, guys, we want to bring you into our family. If you're looking for something that is good and wholesome and that will make life better for people and reduce human suffering, right? And you also want something that can give you the freedom with no limit, right? To get into that dream zone that we talked about. This is that. And we'll start you in on the boot camp. We'll help you get off to a fast and successful start. Now, just we only have a couple minutes left. In fact, we've only got like just a few minutes. All right. I want to give you kind of the special offer here at the end. But oh, there's Crystal. Crystal, you're amazing. Crystal, total stranger, saw a video that I put on social media. Crystal has Hashimoto's and is a nurse. And so she understands this stuff. Her husband had fatty liver. Her husband started the protocol as well. And now Crystal and her husband, he's reversed his fatty liver. Crystal has lost 54 pounds and is off 11 of her medications that she had for Hashimoto's. And Crystal has now built a huge business. We've been all over the world with Crystal too. Okay. So I want to just put a couple people, maybe two on the spot, and then we're going to wrap up and you want to hear the end, I promise. Okay. So I asked this person just moments ago if she'd be willing to come on the call. Nelda Martinez. Nelda, you're the best. Would you just tell maybe 1 minute, because we got to go fast, what has the protocol done for you in your life, and what has the business now done for you?
Well, I was diabetic for 14 years. With a short period of time, I went from a 6.9 to 5.4 diabetes. I have IBS is gone, neuropathy is gone. I'm down 35 pounds. Went from a size 14 to a size 10. And the business has really, I was like, you didn't have money to do anything. Now I've been able to pay off some debt and then start a small savings account right now. And it's just been amazing for us. It's been amazing.
Sorry about last night.
Were you able to get your 10 customers?
Yes, I was. I was able to get my 10 customers and sold my pack within a week.
Okay, and Nelda, I know you have a lot more than 10 now. What's your best month so far in terms of customers?
60.
60 customers. Nelda, you're awesome. Thanks for letting me put you on the spot. We love you, and you're an important part of the family. And I'll see you in a couple days in Las Vegas at our meeting, right? Awesome. Thanks, Nelda. Okay, one more, and then we'll wrap this up. All right. Oh, look at the love in the chat for Nelda. Oh, I love that. Nelda, we love you. Like I said, this is a family, guys. We have 120 of us, I think, about that many. I hope it's not more than that because my reservation's for 120. But if there's more, the more the merrier. We're going to Las Vegas in a couple of days for a big 2-day meeting, a training, right? And then we rented out a bowling alley and are going to all go bowling and have pizza together, which should be a lot of fun. Okay, one more, and then we're going to wrap up with the kind of the close, right? Okay, John Cox. John, if you wouldn't mind maybe just taking a minute, what has this done for your health? What is it doing for your life?
Awesome. You bet. For health was just radical. I mean, I reversed type 2 diabetes. I took insulin shots for 20 years. I had diabetic retinopathy. My vision has actually improved in both eyes, reversed fatty liver, off blood pressure meds, cholesterol. I'm off everything. And I tell people when I started this, I was 49. I felt 65. Now I'm 52 and I feel 30. I mean, it's unbelievable. But as good as the products are in this business, and as good as all this skills training is, the leadership to me is the best part of the business. I mean, when you have people like Trent Tueller and Darren Wood and Denise Tueller, Yvette Oxford and Shannon Davis, and I'm going to miss a bunch of you. When you have people like that, access to, don't take it for granted, because you're not going to get that kind of help where people want to actually help you improve your life. I mean, people are either time poor, money poor, or people poor, and this business will get you all three. You can achieve your dreams here You just have to decide that this is your shot. This is your last chance. This is the best chance, and I'm not wasting it.
Oh, thanks, John. And guys, John works full time. I mean, how many hours do you work a week?
Way over 50.
Okay, way over 50. So you've done this really in your spare time.
Yeah.
And this month, I know I have a good feel. I've done the math. You're going to make a bunch of money, like a lot of money, like what most people would love to make in a month. John's going to make that from his side hustle, like
Mhm.
figure style income, right? From his side hustle. So, hey, proud of you, John. Thanks for coming on the call. I'm sorry I had to keep you really short, but I'm talking.
No.
So we got to wrap up. Thanks, John.
Yeah, you bet.
Okay. So if you are ready to completely upgrade your life. Okay. And that's what it's been for me and my family. We went from struggling and running as fast as we could just to stay in the same spot to dramatically improving our life. If you want to be a part of this and just see what the next step would look like, okay, whoever invited you to this call, send them a text message right now. Right now, I mean, pull out your phone right now and send them a message that says, send me the link. Okay. Send them a message that says, send me the link. And they're going to send you a link to enroll as a partner. Okay. This is what you'll see. You'll see an opportunity to become a licensed distributor with Unicity and become one of our partners. All right. And then once